Hi everyone, for this week's corset review, I'm featuring this gold with lace Longline Underbust Corset made by Morgana Femme Couture. This is the style MF1303 on their website, and Morgana Femme Couture is a small brand that does made-to-order corsets and also made-to-measure corsets, and they are based in London, England. So here's the front, the side, the back, and the other side. I purchased this corset from a friend, and I believe I'm the third person owning it. So all things considered, it is holding up very well, but you can see that it was not made to fit my body. So I believe when this particular corset I'm wearing today was drafted, it was modified slightly to fit the first customer. But if you look back at one of my old Morgana Femme Couture reviews, that one is the standard size that was purchased directly from their Etsy shop. So if you're interested in the standard size corsets, you can refer to the measurements in that video. When I measured this corset, in the waist it's 22 inches closed. The rib cage is 27 inches. Now, keep in mind that my natural rib cage is 30 inches, which is why I'm wearing it with a gap in the back, because obviously I want to be able to breathe. And the lower hip here is 36 inches, and you can see that's a little bit too wide for my own hips. For the length of this corset, it is very long line. The center front here is 14 inches. Along the princess seam here, from under the breast to the top of the lap, is 12 inches. Along the side seam here is 13 inches, and in the back it is 14 inches once again. For the distribution of the length, from the waist up, it's 5.5 inches here. So that is about the same length of my waist from waist to underbust. So it just covers my underwire of my bra, and it doesn't, cut into it, or, it doesn't make the underwire pop over or any sort of weirdness like that. But from the waist down, it is 6.5 inches. And my waist to lap measurement is closer to about 4.5 inches. So when I try to sit down in this corset, it does hit the top of my lap here. Now, this particular area right here is not boned, so the fabric can flap up a little bit. But if you plan to purchase the standard size and not have it made to your measurements, just be aware that, this fabric is going to crease and fold over in that way. So obviously this corset is very long line. My iliac crest is right up here, and this is suited for somebody who is taller and has a long torso. Morgana Femme Couture corsets tend to be conical through the rib cage and gently cupped over the hips here, and I would say that it's well suited for somebody who is more pear-shaped than I am, who has a smaller rib cage and slightly wider hips, even if you are going with the standard size corset and not something that I'm suspecting is probably closer to made to measure like this one was. So let's go to the tabletop portion of this review, and I can show you all the details of this corset. So corset laid flat, and for the materials, the fashion fabric has a base of this gold satin, and then it has black lace overlaid over the entire thing. And of course, the boning channels here and the binding is made from, I believe, satin couture. The strength fabric in this corset is herringbone couture, and then there is a floating lining on the inside made from black cotton twill. So here's what the Morgana Femme Couture label looks like. It's in the back by the Grommets here. There's no label for the size, the country of manufacture, although they do say that they hand make these in London, England, and no washing instructions in here either. And because of all the boning channels on the outside, it's actually easier to see the pattern on the inside. So it has a 6-panel pattern, 12 panels total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the fashion fabric seemed to be flat lined to the strength fabric, and the boning channels were laid down over the seams of that. And like I said before, the lining here is floating, and you can see that there's a very tiny top stitch on the lining as well. This corset does come with the waist tape, and I feel the waist tape is 1 inch wide here. It starts right here at the center front, and it extends all the way to the center back. And the binding is made from bio strips of black satin couture here, same satin that they used for the boning channels here, and it's machine stitched on the outside and also on the inside here. And there's a tiny top stitch both on outside and inside. And there are no garter tabs in the bottom of this corset. And by default, there is no Modesty panel in the back of these corsets. However, in the front, there is a Modesty panel. And so you can see it's unstiffened, finished in black satin, and it extends out about 1/4 inch from underneath the knob side of the busk here. The busk in this particular corset is 12.5 inches long, and it has 6 loops and pins. The last two are a little bit closer together for more control over the lower tummy here. Additionally, there is a 1/4 inch wide flat steel bone on either side of the busk for some extra stiffness. It is a standard flexible busk though. The actual busk itself is 1/2 inch wide on each side. And another neat detail about the busk here is that it's one continuous piece of fabric from here to here. So what you normally see in corsets is that it's 2 pieces of fabric with a seam right there, and then they leave holes in between the seams to put the loop side of the busk through. But in this case, it's just one piece of fabric, and they cut buttonholes here. So you can see that each hole is reinforced with some stitching right there, and that's where they put the loops through. I've seen this in a couple of other brands before, and the reason behind this is that if there's no seam right there, then there's nothing for the busk to rip through eventually. So it just reinforces the fabric right there to not have a seam, not have like a fault line there. This corset has a total of 24 bones, 12 on each side, not including the center front busk here. So you can see it's a single boned here on the seams and also in the middle of the panels in external boning channels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are all 1/4 inch wide spirals, I believe. And yes, they do attract my magnet when I test it. Additionally, there's a 1/4 inch wide flat steel bone by the busk and 2 1/4 inch wide flat steel bones sandwiching the grommets here. And there are a total of 26 grommets in the back of this corset, 13 on each side. They are size 00 with a medium flange and finished in silver. And you can see that they're set a little bit further apart on the top and the bottom here, and they're set a little bit closer at the waistline to help with ease of lacing up here. And here's the underside of the grommets, nice big washers. All of them have rolled really nicely. There is the occasional split here and there, but it's not a problem because it doesn't catch on the laces. This is just some fuzzy from when the grommet was set. It's not actual damage to the corset. Like I said, I'm at least the 3rd owner of this corset, so considering how well it's been worn, it is holding up very well. And the lacing that came with this corset is seems to be 1/8 of an inch wide, black flat shoelace style lacing, and it feels like it's actually cotton instead of nylon. There's no stretch to it, and there is like a little bit of like fuzziness that's going on because it is fairly old, but it's holding up quite well. And they're long enough and they hold the bow nicely. They don't slip out, so they're fine. The MF1303 Longline Underbust Corset is available in several different colors. I believe you can get the black lace, but you can get almost any color satin underneath it if you like. And it's available in their Etsy shop in standard sizes from 18 inches closed waist up to 26 inches closed waist. Of course, you can get an upgrade to have this made to measure if you desire. And the price of this corset starts at $300 US. So this concludes my review of the MF1303 Longline Underbust Corset with the lace overlay here. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button down there as it helps support this channel. If you have any comments or questions about this corset or about Morgana Femme Couture in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you own this corset or any other corset by Morgana Femme Couture, let us know what you think of it, how you like it in a comment below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye.